Today we're going to talk about all the ways Nick almost killed me in Thailand. And Bali.
No, I never killed us one time. We're alive here today. For a good reason.
There were
I'm a safe bodyguard.
Few times that we did some very sketchy things, I feel like.
Nothing was even sketchy.
You-
Except for a lot of it. Except for the time we almost got abducted. And the
Twice?
time... No, the second time, you're trolling. It wasn't even an
Technically, that was the first time, I would like to say. Okay. I think we're in Indonesia. It's me, our other friend Shayna, who's like my age, she's like my best friend, and Nick. And we're trying to get to this place. And when you're in Thailand, people just like, they're on the side of the road and they're like, I'll give you a ride. Like, there's all these people. And Nick goes up to this guy and he's like, I'll give you a ride to this place that we're going to. And Nick's like, okay. And he says how much? And Nick's like, no. Nick tries to get him down from like, let's say.
Let's just put it, I'm a bartering master.
It's probably $10. Nick's like, $1.
I
like literally that's
ripped
what
the guy off.
is happening. And he gets it down and this guy goes, okay, hop on my scooter. I come back for the girls. Nick literally just jumps in the back of this guy's scooter and goes off to who knows where. I'm texting him and I'm like,
Bro.
what did you do? He didn't look. He didn't talk to us. He didn't do anything. He was just so excited that this guy accepted his $1.
Bro, we were in the middle of the most touristy spot in all of Thailand.
That doesn't matter.
And it was touristy McGee. No one was abducting us.
I will say I did get on the scooter. So me and Shayna said, we're only going to go on the scooter if we can go together. Like, I'm not going to go separately. That's what we said. So he came back and we asked, and he said yes. And I was texting Nick the entire time, like, we just turned right. How did you go? And he's like, I don't know which way I turned.
Bro, we were literally in the most
That literally
touristy
doesn't matter.
spot.
That's how
There
people
was other
get
people
abducted.
walking around. We were going to, like, a big tourist attraction.
What do you mean? I get on the bike, he could drive anywhere.
There was one road down the road.
No.
Straight.
Have you
path.
been? Do you forget that they don't drive on the road half the time? Like, no one would have thought anything if you just went through a freaking corner of a house and... Honestly, you could drive through a house there and no one's going to say anything.
Honestly true. I'm trying to get this.
We could have died and you just didn't care. Like, I was freaking out and Nick didn't think anything of it. Afterwards, we got there, he's like, yeah, that was probably a dumb idea. And now he acts like it wasn't. But,
I was literally standing there and I was like waiting for the girls to come. I was all hyped up that we got an awesome deal. We got a $1 scooter ride all the way to the tourist attraction. And I think I bartered in the tourist attraction too with the ride. So I was like, it was like a 2-for-1 deal even. Like, it was a steal of a deal. We got on the back of the thing. He's like, I'll come back for them. And I was like, sounds like a plan. I'll hop on. Hopped on the scooters with no consultation from the council, and I was there ready to go, waiting for them. And I don't even think I looked at my phone. I think you were texting me.
I was freaking out. I was like, where did you go? Are you okay? Like, what is going on?
I was sitting in the boat ready to go see some gators. And Cassidy.
I was stressing.
And I don't think I checked my phone, and I looked at it. Because I think after a while, it was taking a long time for you guys to come. So I was like, where are you guys? So I checked my phone.
We had to talk him into letting both of us on a scooter.
Cassidy was spamming me. And I was like, yeah, it's totally fine. I'm just sitting here waiting in the boat for you guys to show up.
No, I did get on the scooter until you confirmed that you were safe.
We were totally fine. The more
I had
sketchy
my maps
one.
Open. That one wasn't sketchy at all. I know what you're talking about.
That one wasn't sketchy.
No, this one was sketchy.
No, that was the least sketchy. The more sketchy one was when we went fishing in the pitch black, and the guy started driving me to a jungle, to his house.
I thought I was gonna
get chopped up like Jeffrey Dahmer.
We booked a reputable fishing company.
Reputable. The guy was off like Facebook Marketplace.
No, I found him on TripAdvisor.
That doesn't mean anything.
And
Jeffrey Dahmer picked up dates on TripAdvisor.
I looked at all the reviews. He had lots of reviews. He messaged us. He's gonna pick us up early because we wanted to fish for sunrise. So we were out on the ocean for sunrise. So he picks us up. There's 3 of us. So him, his brother, and his brother's wife picks us all up, and we all go on a scooter.
Be waiting out front of your hotel at 4 a.m. in the pitch black in the middle of the jungle.
What else are we gonna do?
Normal.
It was
That's
normal.
normal when we're in the most touristy spot. In the other scenario, we're in the most touristy spot in the broad day with other tourists running around. When we went
We got
fishing,
on a random person's scooter. A
we
random
got
person
on
who
2 random people's scooter in the middle of the jungle in the pitch black.
They had reviews. They're an actual company.
I could have asked Buddy on the side of the road probably to bring up his boating experience.
No,
his
he
scooter
had no
TripAdvisor.
company. He just
Bro
literally
didn't have
did
a
it.
company. It was himself. It was his own business.
Yeah, that's a company.
So
I
you
have a
think the
photography
guy,
company.
you think the guy on the road that is scootering people back and forth is not a taxi delivery company?
He wasn't. There are taxis. There were actual scooter companies. This was just a guy with a scooter.
Literally the
with
exact
a
same.
paper sign. He held up a cardboard sign.
Bro, the other guy didn't even have a sign. At least the
He
other
had
guy
a
was
company.
putting in effort to.
Okay, but anyways, he picked us up middle of the night, and we all just
Pitch
get on
black,
the
by the
scooters.
way. I get
Well,
on the
'cause
line.
it's-
He's like, and it was sketchy because he's like, you come with me. They'll go with them. Like it was like a premeditated murder. Like he was like,
Not like
you guys
that.
go with them. Was it his wife or was it his brother? I can't remember.
I was on his brother, and Shayna was on his brother's wife. I was on his brother's.
Oh, Cassidy's getting ridden. Wait, Cassidy's riding.
No,
No,
I was just like chit chatting
No.
with his brother the entire
Yeah,
time
but-
about the company and how hard his like brother work, like the guy who has the company works, and his brother was saying that like, oh yeah, they just like help him pick people up and drop them off, but like they can watch their kids at home because his brother's company is successful.
yeah, well, the sketchy part was the fact that I was in front of you guys. It was pitch black. We're driving down a straight road, and all of a sudden it was like Curious George, where the road splits in the. I don't even know what that has to do with Curious George, but the road split apart like a child's book. He was like, would you like to choose option A or option B? I didn't get to choose any options, and Buddy just wheels down one way, and I turned my head and looked back, and Cassidy looks like she's having a good time, and all of a sudden she goes down the other path, and then the third scooter with Shayna goes down the other path, and I was like, we're gonna die. I'm responsible for protecting these two
Now this was
two
after
ladies.
the last one.
two young ladies and my girlfriend.
Wait,
Wait, wait, we had okay. No, these two girls I'm responsible for looking out for through our travels of this month trip, and then I was like, they're getting abducted, or I'm dying, or both, because they took them that way, and I'm going this way, and I don't know what's going on. So I'm on the back of the scooter. I'm texting Cassie. I'm like, what's going on? Are you like?
Nick
was like-
obviously did not talk to the person at all because
No,
I
he
knew
didn't
exactly what was happening. The guy was like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna go get the fishing rods and stuff, and we're gonna meet him at the spot." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And we just kept on our conversation.
Yeah, he didn't tell me a single thing. We're just driving through and we're just going deeper and deeper into the jungle. It's getting darker and darker because there's just less light coming in because there's more trees covering, and it's just going, and the road's getting more sketchy and there's less and less road, and it's just dirt,
You're so
jungle,
dramatic.
dirt, jungle, and then we're running over tree roots, and we're like, "Brrr," and then there's just a distant light in the back of the jungle. I'm like,
Oh my god, you're so
no, that's what it
dramatic.
was. There was a distant glow in the forest. I was like, oh my god, he's taking us like to his like his people that are gonna cut me up, like Jeffrey Dahmer. And
So dramatic.
no, and then the lights started getting brighter and brighter because we're getting closer. And then all of a sudden, it was just like this. It was like a bombshell. Like it was just like a cement house that it was obviously his house. And I was like, we're getting closer. I was like, do I jump off right now and start running through the jungle because I am about to get serial killed?
Serial kill.
And
You have a bowl
Cassidy,
of Fruit Loops. Much,
and
much.
Cassidy and Shayna are probably already in a freezer somewhere. Like I don't know what I should do, or I wait and see what happens. And then
I was
So
still
then the
talking
guy's
to the
like-
brother.
the guy's like, "Wait here, I'll be back." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Now's my chance to run." I was like, "Do I run?" And he comes back. He goes, "I got the fishing rods." And I was like, "Oh, we're safe. We got the fishing rods." And then I think while he was in the house, Cassidy ended up texting me back that they were okay and they were waiting for me.
Yeah, we were at the
I
little
think at that
beach
point, so I was
waiting
like-
for...
I was like, "Okay, I don't got to run away." Because Cassie told me she was okay, but that's we were just driving. I thought I was gonna. He just kept driving into the deep, deep jungle.
I do
And I
remember
thought-
getting down to the beach. We're just in like little scooters and we're just like going through the forest, and it was just like bum.
Yeah,
bum,
We were
bum.
going through the darkest, deepest part of the jungle, and Buddy was just driving deeper and deeper, and I thought I was getting abducted, and you guys were already long gone abducted. I was like, save myself at this point.
I will say, that fishing was probably one of our best experiences, even though I was sick the entire time. But I remember like just like that was a good time, and we have this funny
That was
memory.
fun.
But like wait, like fishing and like seeing the sunrise on the ocean was really cool.
There was before we went into the deep dark jungle, and I think the road split apart. We went over like a hill, and there was like a nice, beautiful sunrise like coming up, and it looked really cool. Like as we were driving like in before the fork in the road, before I thought chaos was ensuing. But yeah, we almost died.
That's two of the times we almost died. We also crashed scooters twice.
We almost, bro. We had a lot of bad scooter experiences. Now that I think about it, we
Only twice.
no. You almost got abducted on one scooter ride.
Oh yeah.
And then the fishing scooter
Abductions,
ride.
too. Okay.
And
I just
then
had 2 car crashes.
and then we almost crashed in like it got run over by
We actually
onslaught
almost
of
died.
vehicles.
Like, we're actually kind of lucky.
Yeah.
We
Honestly,
were-
the more I think about it, how lucky and how stupid that was.
We were scootering and we were gonna go to a movie at the mall, and Nick like
For context, before you listen to this part, Google or after go watch like driving in Thailand or Asia. They drive on the like they drive anywhere there's space, they're driving.
yeah
If
they'll
you
drive
can
on
fit
the
like,
sidewalk.
with 1 inch on each side, they're driving.
Mm-hmm.
We took another bus like to go see an island or something, and we were driving through like cliffs. There was no road. The van felt like it was gonna tip over the edge of a mountain the entire time.
Do you remember when we were on that one when it was so tight and there was 2 cars like each way and they just scraped against each other
Yeah.
because there was so little room and no one cared?
No,
It
they
was
just
like you do
drive.
that or you die.
And it's like I'm honking, and if you don't get out of the way, you're getting fucked up.
So
It's like they honk when they say thank you, they honk when they're angry, and they honk when they're coming in. So everyone's just honking, and no one knows what's going on. So that one, yeah, we were literally on the edge of a cliff. We almost rolled off and died one time.
at this point, we had like been scootering like around a decent amount, but like non-busy areas, and we were like, okay, we want to go to this movie, and we rented these scooters, so like we don't want to rent a taxi.
So we thought it'd be a good idea to drive to the busiest, like one of the busiest cities in Indonesia.
We were so close to being there, and Nick like slowed down a little bit
I was
to
being a
let
nice driver in.
someone in, and then someone else just like ripped in front of us that shouldn't have gone. Because they don't let people in really in
Yeah,
this.
if you slow down, be prepared to let like 18 people
Yeah.
in. Like it's not like in Canada or the US where you like slow down and like one car goes and you keep driving, and there's no like right of ways. So like we were driving straight and a car turned out from like a side road in front of us because I slowed down, which I shouldn't have slowed down. I should have just kept going. But like it's not like in Canada where like if you keep drawing, this guy can't go. Like in the US, if you're driving, this guy can't go until there's an opening. But this guy just went and like essentially cut me off. So I swerved the scooter, and it was like James Bond. We were like sliding on the edge of the scooter, and there's cars freaking whizzing by our heads like
If we
as
were
we're fucking driving.
anywhere else, we would have gone ran over by another car. But I will say, like they like their instinct is so good. Like they moved right around us. Like
I was
here, we would have been ran over by like a semi truck.
Yeah, we would have messed up.
But
I'm surprised. I don't think we have any pictures of like our wounds.
I have a small one. I might have some. I'd have to look. Yeah, I had like road rash all the way down my arm. I had like a backpack on. You're not wearing like good.
We were wearing shorts and like flip flops and
Yeah.
tank tops, and like the only thing that saved Cass was she's wearing a backpack, and then my like whole like side was all like just ravaged.
It's funny is I have no scar from that, but I have a scar from when I crashed the scooter.
And then yeah, like 3 days before,
Nick-
Cassidy was.
Nick decided that I should drive, and I said, no,
We
drive.
were trying to
And then
teach
he was
Cassidy to
like,
drive.
No, you should drive. And get on the scooter and literally crash it into the wall.
There was like a storm drain, like there was like a trough, and Cassidy just sent us into the trough. I was like, slow down, and instead of braking, she revs up, and we just.
Well, because no one told me where things were, so like you told me to brake, and then I revved instead of braking because I didn't know where the brake was.
We just started going. I was like, slow down. We started going faster, and then we were inside of a storm drain cement wall.
It was like literally a 5-minute walk. It was like a 1-minute drive to like our place from the place we were at. So it was like the perfect time for me to do it. It was like an empty road,
Yeah, no one around.
no one around, and I just went straight into like I think I went between the wall and a tree, and like we just scraped along the wall like
and we
our
just
sides, not.
yeah.
And so I have a scar on my ankle from that one, but not the like really bad one.
And
Like
we
we didn't almost die that
didn't
time.
take it as a sign. Then we decided to go to see a movie in the busiest heart of the
Well,
city.
because I wasn't driving, you were.
And I was doing good though. We were almost there.
We
We were
were
like
so
30
close.
seconds away, and then that ruined our night because we almost had to go to the hospital.
We had.
We were so shaken up. Like I remember, and then
I
there were
remember you.
so many people like trying to ask us if we were okay, and there was
They're
so
like,
much.
come back to our house. We'll get you medicaled up.
Yeah, there was so much adrenaline going on that like I didn't even know it was like because we were just in like essentially car accidents. There was so much adrenaline. I didn't know what was going on. I was scared that Cassidy was hurt, so I was like,
Yeah, Nick
okay.
was freaking out.
I was like, and then I was also freaking out because if you fuck up a scooter in Thailand or like any of those Asian countries, most of the times they take your passport. This time, I think we gave them pictures of our passport, so they
We
couldn't
used
hold our
good
passport.
places.
But like some places will ask for your passport, and if you fuck up the scooter, even if you don't fuck up the scooter, sometimes they'll just like, oh no, like this is broken. You have to pay like an absurd amount of money to get your passport back. So I was scared that they were gonna like call the police on us or something because we fucked up their scooter. Actually, there wasn't that much damage on the scooter.
I think it was one like
The
mirror,
was
and that was
smashed or
really
something.
easy to fix.
But yeah, I remember there was so much adrenaline. Everyone's like, "Come to my house," and then there was like all of a sudden there was like a pope there. There was like, do you remember the church guy? He was like a pope. He was like, "Come to the church. Our country forgives you."
Oh, I remember this.
He was like, "Our country forgives you." I was like, "Your country did nothing. Like, it's fine, bro. I'm good. Like, I'm okay. I don't need to go to the hospital." And it was like, and people were like pulling on us. They're like, "Come to my house." Like they were like having a bidding war over us. Like there was like 100 people around, and they were like, "You come. No, you come with me." And I was like,
Isn't it crazy that we just jumped right back on the scooters and drove home? Like we had nothing else to do. So
we
like
just drove down a side street because I needed to get away from the people because I needed to figure out what the hell was going on. I need to figure out how bad I was hurt because I didn't know what was going
Nick
on.
was so overstimulated.
And yeah, I was just bleeding in our legs and everything. It was bad.
Yeah, we did not go to the movie. We just hopped back on and went home.
Which, yeah, we sat there for like a little bit because I was trying to get my adrenaline down, but then people just kept finding us and were like, come. So we freaking got back on the scooter, and I remember it hurt so bad driving because you're driving like fairly fast on the scooter, and the wind's blowing in your open cuts, and like I can feel it still.
Because you were wearing a muscle tank, I believe.
Yeah,
like, you were not wearing a lot.
Like, and it hurt. The wind, it was just stinging. It was like a 40 or half-hour drive or something. We were close.
Yeah,
It was a long drive, and we got in the accident right at the end of the drive. So on the way back, it was a long drive back, just bleeding everywhere down the road.
You're not dripping blood. It was not that bad.
And before that, I thought we were gonna get arrested. Do you remember when we were just like, I was probably driving way too fast. Like we were on part of the island where there was no one around, so we were just driving. And then all of a sudden, the cop like flashes lights at us. We were going this way, and he was coming this way, and I was going really fast, like probably faster than I should have been. And the lights went on. I was like, "Shit, we're getting pulled over."
Also, the worst part about this story was that we were fighting with our friends that were there because they didn't want to take the scooter because they thought it was a bad idea.
Yeah, we were like, we paid for these scooters, like let's use them. They're like, no, we're just gonna take a taxi because we don't want to drive to that. Which honestly, there would have been more casualties, I think, if.
Oh yeah, we were the best drivers when we got into a car accident.
Yeah. Honestly, now that I know, like, I could probably do it. I wouldn't do it again, but I think I could do it. Like, drive to that.
We had been there for almost a month. Like, we had been driving quite a bit on scooters.
We were getting good at
Like,
it.
it wasn't like first time.
By
we, I mean I sat on the back like the passenger princess I am, but
Cassidy held on for dear life.
No, I didn't. I remember having to swap with Shayna because Brad kept saying that like it was too hard to drive with Shayna because she held on so tightly. So I was like, I don't even hold on. So Shayna can go with Nick.
Yeah, we almost died that time.
We died almost a lot. There's also the time
we almost died in the cave.
The cave is a
shark almost ate us.
Honestly, the cave is, I think, the scariest one. Thinking back, a lot of that. I rewatched the vlog for that, and the telephone game of like, don't touch poisonous. I can't believe that was a thing. We were going through this jungle, and so we had 2 people with us that were like our guides.
Locals, yeah.
And we were like when we went to Thailand, we did like a tour group, so there was like a bunch of strangers, but like we'd been with them for 2 weeks, so and I was like, I'm sticking behind this guy. If there's something in this jungle that's gonna come kill me, he's got a machete. I'm sticking right behind him.
Yup.
And so I'm like behind him, and he's like pointing things out. He's like, "Oh, I think it was black bamboo." He's like, "Don't touch. Poisonous, will kill you." And he's like, "Let's get that going down the line." So we're just playing a telephone game of
With like
don't
30
touch.
people. So by the end, who knows? And some people didn't even speak English. There was these
Yeah.
Germans that did not speak English. So like, could you imagine people like don't touch and like oh touch and they just touch that fucking thing?
There was that, and then we went through. So we did all that, and there was like a bunch of scary things in the jungle.
Yeah, there's like
And
panthers and tigers and shit, and poisonous bugs and poisonous bamboo and
spiders is what really gets me.
spiders and
Snakes, frogs. And then we were going to like a cave, and so we go into this cave, and one of us can't like I could swim, Nick can swim, but we're with Mia who couldn't swim, and there's parts
Bro.
of the place where like you had to swim. So we're like trying to stack it so that like we have stronger swimmers and then like
so you can
less
carry
strong
someone through the cave.
swimmers. Because Shayna can also like she could swim but like not
No
well.
life jackets. So like here you go. And the worst part was they were like, we have some headlamps, so like a light that goes in your head with a strap you don't have to hold. So they had some, gave them out, and like, oh yeah, by the way, we're out of lights. So here's a flashlight, put it in your mouth like a Navy SEAL and swim through the cave. Like they were like, people were just flashlight in the mouth.
I do
Like you were going SEAL Team 6 ready to assassinate somebody.
I do remember you were trying to be so like nice. I remember this like really well. Where like you were like, "I'll go behind you in case you need help swimming." I remember laughing because I was like, "I'm probably a stronger swimmer than any of you."
I think I went with Mia. Mia was like holding
we
on
ended
to
up
my
putting
back
Mia in
the whole
between
time.
us.
Yeah, I remember. And the scares, you're swimming through like fucking Navy SEALs with a flashlight in your mouth, and there's piranhas swimming around your
no
ankles.
piranhas,
Yes, there
but
was.
there were fish.
There was fish of some sort swimming around my ankles. There could have been alligators. There could have been
There literally could have been
creatures in the
anything
cave. There could have been like I thought something was gonna chomp my toes off. You couldn't touch the bottom. You had a flashlight in your mouth. If you were drowning or dying, you wouldn't even be able to say anything because you were gagged by a flashlight. You'd
I
go,
did not have a flashlight in my mouth.
Yeah, but half the people did.
No, I didn't have a headlamp either. I went lightless.
Like, that's also sketchy.
No, I was fine. It reminded me of like if you've seen The Descent, that horror movie. I kept thinking that something like that was gonna happen. So we go see like this waterfall, and
It
in
wasn't
there,
even the thing is
your foot got stuck
the thing is that wasn't even like the grand finale. We didn't get through the cave.
because it started to rain.
We for a while we got there and we stood outside the cave and they were debating if it was safe to go in because it was pouring rain.
Well, it wasn't pouring yet.
It was trickling.
It was starting to rain.
So they were like, anyways, you're not supposed to go caving because the caves fill up with water and you drowned. So they were debating if we're going in, and they're like, yeah, fuck it, let's go in.
It was not pouring. It was gonna start raining, and they thought we had enough time
Well,
to
when
get
we got
through.
out, it was pouring.
But when we got out, it was pouring, and the people that came behind us weren't allowed in.
So we were supposed to go all the way through this cave, and it was supposed to get us to like this hidden beach, and we got like half away. There was like a waterfall inside in the cave too that you could see like along the way. We got like halfway, and they're like, yeah, we gotta go back because the current's getting too strong in the cave. So like this waterfall you had to go up, there was like a fucking rope swing thing, and you had to like scale up this.
It was intense.
The water was pouring over, slapping you in the face like titties, and then all of a sudden you're hanging off this rope like Tarzan, and then you got to the top, and it was like water dripping off a wall. They're like, "Yep, that's all you get to see."
It
We're
was
going
cooler than
back.
that. And then we're like going back, and Nick's foot got like stuck, and they had to like rip it out.
Yeah,
like,
so my leg was bent like backwards.
I
I
can't
didn't know
see
how to say
that.
it. It was like this way, and my knee was bending this way down, and it was wedged between two rocks, and they're just reefing on me. I thought my leg was gonna snap off, and I was gonna drown in this freaking ocean, this water cave. And then, like 2 weeks later, when we were home,
People got trapped in something similar, not the exact same
not
cave.
the same cave, but there was like this huge story in the news. Some people have probably seen it.
I think there was a
It was
documentary or something.
yeah, there was a documentary. There was like a 10-year-old soccer team, Thailand soccer team, went caving,
They got stuck.
and
Like
yeah,
they were stuck
and
down
it
there.
started to rain, and the cave filled up, and they were like in a little like island inside the cave, so they had like a place to like sit and stuff. But they were in this cave, water filled up so high that they couldn't get out, and they were running out of oxygen and stuff, and they were trying to figure out how to get. They were sending the best divers from across the world to like go in these caves and try and get these kids out of the cave.
I think they ended up putting them to sleep, right?
Yeah, they went. They brought
If I'm
sedation.
correct.
They went in there. They sedated all the kids so that they wouldn't use a lot of oxygen. Because that was the thing. It was like they were so far in the cave that they couldn't use like a full oxygen tank because it was too big and like they would run out. And then yeah, so the tanks were too big or something to get them through the caves. But then they didn't have enough air to like get everyone back, so they had to put the kids to sleep so they didn't use as much oxygen. But anyways, they got trapped in this cave like a week after we did, and we were doing the same thing. It could easily been us, and we probably would have been dead.
Honestly, I can't believe we did that. Now thinking back, that's like every shark movie, every crocodile movie, every horror movie I've ever watched
Have you seen
that I
the
love to watch.
one where the guy goes in the Grand Canyon hiking and he gets his like leg or his arm
Oh, I love that movie.
stuck between a boulder and he has to cut his arm
Yeah,
off to get
I
out? Like
love
that was
that
like also could have
movie.
happened to my leg.
Honestly, there's so many bad, like, honestly, it's great. It made our trip, like, we have all these experiences that we did that are kind of scary.
I'm
and, like,
glad
the adrenaline was getting us, but, like,
we did it
wow.
with the tour group because I don't think we would have did a lot of those like cool things.
No,
Like,
we
'cause
wouldn't
wouldn't
have.
have known about them.
We didn't even
which
do
is
that
really
many
cool.
things in Indonesia compared to Thailand.
Yeah, which would have been cool.
But also, should we have probably done that? Probably not.
No, but it made for a good story. It was fun, but like
There was, like,
looking back, yeah, that could have been bad.
also the time that I got stung by the jellyfish. And I think the best part of that story is we're going to like this beach that's like really well popular, but like the fancy boats come through like the actual side and
Bro,
the less fancy boats come
we
through like
were
the
on
back
a
side.
1950 pirate ship.
Yeah,
we were
we
literally
literally were.
about to steal some booty and charge another ship and start shooting cannons. We were on a full-on pirate ship, and like, oh yeah, by the way, our ship's too big. We can't get any closer, so swim.
And yeah, like again,
In
they
the
say
middle of
that,
a storm.
and Mia can't swim, so we're there swimming with her. I think she did have a life jacket this time. They did at least have life jackets. And so they're like, oh, by the way, when you get too close, there's gonna be like sea urchins on the ground, so don't
Yeah.
step.
I was like, there was like this much water left. I was so close to the shore, and I was like flopping like a seal, trying to get onto the shore because I was trying not to touch the bottom because I didn't want to get stabbed by a sea urchin.
And then you get there, and they go, oh, there's two ways to get there. You can go like up this like rope ladder and around, or there's like a nice like cave you can walk through. Nick wanted to go through the cave, and I was like, I'm gonna go up the ladder. And I think everyone ended up going up the ladder with me,
Yes.
which is so good because then there's people walking through the cave and they're like, oh, a pretty snake. And our trip, like our person that's with us is like, oh, pretty, but 8 minutes. You have 8 minutes till you die.
Yeah.
And we're in the middle of nowhere.
Poisonous ass snakes.
And they're just letting them walk, and there's like 50 of these snakes.
Bro, yeah, that was. We could have been fucking eaten by sea urchins and poisoned.
Yeah, those things are like this big.
Yeah, but your foot would have fallen off. And then you'd been sitting there helpless from the sea urchin, and a snake would have came and feasted on you.
And then we went to that beach, and we did hang out there for a while, and someone thought Nick was Justin Bieber.
Yeah, bro, I don't know why, because I was a white guy with long, wavy hair, that I was Justin Bieber.
You do
But
look like back
everywhere,
then, you looked a lot
people
like him.
just wanted to take pictures with me. Like,
No.
I don't know what the deal was.
We were at this,
I
this
forgot he
beach,
made me pose.
and this guy's like, "Oh, picture," and Nick's like, "Okay," like he thought that he wanted to take a picture with his girlfriend. He's like, "Yeah, I'll take the picture of you." And then the guy poses with Nick.
Wait, no, wait. All of a sudden, he hands the camera to someone else and he goes like this. I was like, holy shit, are we fighting? I was like, what is going on? Do I have to square up? And he's like, no. And then he's going like this. I was like, are we about to beef right now? He's like, no, picture. And I was like, what the? So I'm standing on the beach like I'm going to box this guy. And I'm probably on the guy's fridge now. Isn't that crazy to think about? There's a picture of me pretending to box an Asian guy, probably on some fridge in Asia now.
Honestly, it happened a few times. People would like ask to take pictures with Nick. Like, I swear people thought he was Justin Bieber or something. Because like back then, I feel like you guys like you kind of looked alike. Now maybe not. Justin's a little more tatted and stuff, but.
I thought I was going to fight someone on a beach.
So then we did that, and then when we left, it's starting to storm, and we're swimming back. And I'm a decent swimmer. Like, I took swimming lessons for a long time, and I love the water. But I was trying to stay with Mia because she can't swim. She's in a life jacket, so she's like fine. But like, I'm trying to stay with her. And since I stayed with her, everyone else is already on the boat. We're just like waiting for Mia, and I'm like, you can do it, you can do it. A fucking jellyfish hits my hand
Yeah,
and
Cassidy,
stings me.
I'm in front of Cassidy, And then I turned back and Cassidy goes, "Some just touched me." And I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" I was like, "I am swimming so much faster now. What do you mean something touched
Leaves
you?"
me.
I was like,
Doesn't care.
I was like, "What do you mean? I am not getting eaten by a shark right now." So I'm fucking paddling. She's
Fight
like,
or flight.
and then we finally get on the boat and she's like, "I don't know, it felt like seaweed touched me or something." And then her arm just started, like it looked like she got whipped.
I remember Mia coming up to me and be like, "I'm gonna hold my pee in case you need it."
She gets on the boat. She's like, "Can I pee on you?"
And then I remember Dexter being like, "How would you do that?" And I was like, "Mia's gonna squat and I'm gonna stick my hand underneath." And
Honestly,
he was like, "Wait, what?"
We should have let her pee on you for the funnies. That
We
would
were
have been
so
hilarious.
close to do it. I should have done it because I like sat in pain. We weren't done. Like we weren't going home after that. We were gonna go like
Yeah,
snorkeling
The
and
tour
stuff.
guide. Okay, so the tour guide just didn't even give a shit that we got stung. She's like, "Oh yeah, you probably got stung by a jellyfish. You'll be fine." And we're like,
They
"What
gave
the
me
hell?"
vinegar technically, but it was expired. Because if you didn't know, vinegar works. You do not have to have someone pee on you. Vinegar does work, but they gave me expired vinegar on the boat, so I was in pain. But we got real vinegar when I got back home, and that worked.
Yeah, the tour guide just, and then we got on the boat. We went snorkeling for like an hour and a half after, and they just didn't give a shit that Cassidy was. We're just sitting on a pirate ship, ready to get boarded by another ship, and Cassidy's sitting there, lacerated by a jellyfish.
I didn't go in because like I was in pain and stuff, and I remember Nick being like, "I feel bad leaving you," and I was like, "Go, like I'm just gonna sit up here." And he jumped in, went under the water once, and then went, "I can't do it. What if I get stung?" And,
Yeah,
like,
I
got back
literally
out.
put my snorkel on, jumped. There's a cat in the window. He just jumped up. Jumped in the water. Took like one doggy paddle. I was like, "Wait a minute." I remember like the night before Googling like poisonous things in Thailand, and there was this fish, and I was like, and as soon as I jumped in, I saw it. I was like,
I'm out.
"Wait a minute." Cassidy just got stung by a jellyfish, and there's a poisonous fish right here. I'm going back. And then I just sat in the boat with Cassidy.
I remember I was sitting there, and I was like Googling all the types of jellyfish that there were in
they have
Thailand.
box jellyfish,
Uh-huh.
which are like the most poisonous, and it was like that time of the year where they could be in the water, and they're like,
But-
"Oh yeah, jellyfish come in when it's stormy and wavy outside because the waves
So do sharks, just so everyone knows.
to eat the jellyfish and stuff." And perfect storm, perfect season for killer box jellyfish and stormy weather. I was like, "What if Cassie's dying in the next 8 minutes?"
I remember sitting there
And
being
I'm
like,
snorkeling.
"What if I got stung by a box jellyfish?" And I think Dexter, because he was the most reasonable, saying those things paralyze you instantly. And it's been like 30 minutes. And I'm sitting there like, I've been stung by a box jellyfish. And he's like, "You would be paralyzed."
That was the same place we went and partied with the coconut.
Mm-hmm.
We found. I got
We have so many
wasted.
stories.
We're gonna have to make like 3 episodes just on Thailand stories. We got so drunk. They had these full moon parties, and I think it was a half moon or something, which is essentially like a 48-hour party. Like people just do drugs and don't go to sleep there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so licked. We went for dinner with our tour group, and there was a coconut on the ground outside of the dinner place. And I was so drunk that I was determined that this coconut was now part of my family. This coconut was one with me, and I called it Kevin the Coconut. And I should get some pictures of it and post them in the podcast. And I was dancing shirtless in all the bars holding a coconut.
He took it. We went to like 5 bars that night with that coconut.
And I took it with me everywhere. And then there was this gay guy on the beach that stole my coconut, and I was so upset.
And he tried to
And
make
he
me
was
kiss
like,
him.
"You have to kiss me to get it back." And I was like, "Hell no, I'm not kissing you. Give me my fucking coconut, bitch. That is my coconut. You have Kevin hostage. I am not kissing you on the lips, brother. Give me my coconut." And then the guy's holding me. His friend's like holding me, and the other guy's macking me on the cheek. And I was like, "Fucking give me my coconut."
I remember us like having the coconut. You'd be like holding it in the middle of the circle, and we'd all be like,
We'd be
"Oh!"
powwowing around the coconut. We were just going crazy. And then I slept with the coconut that night.
You were so mad because I brought a cat home with
I
us,
brought a coconut
and Nick brought
home.
a coconut home, and he was like, "The cat can't sleep with us." And I was like, "Well, then the coconut can't sleep with us." To
And
be
then
fair, the cat
there
was a
was-
random
There
cat.
was a stray angry cat under the nightstand, and I was trying to get it out, and it was just,
It
and was
liked
just
me, it just
fucking
didn't like
clawing
you.
at me. Yeah, and then we had to leave Kevin there when I sobered up.
And my kitty cat. Honestly, I also remember in Bali when we were one of the ones I remember the most is when we went out the one night and we're like we got there, we're ready to like party because we hadn't really partied. We go out to the bar and all of a sudden we're there and it's like get really ham. We've been there for maybe like 10 minutes and they start like handing out free shots to everyone. And we're all like, yeah, what is this? This is great. Oh my God. And then we do the shot and then all the music shuts down and the bars close because it
Oh
was
yeah,
Ramadan, I think.
we were ready to party and get wild, and it was Ramadan.
And we didn't realize it. And at Ramadan, like all the bars closed down early, and so we were like really ready to go ham, and then just nothing, like blue balled completely.
Yeah, do you remember? I remember going back and laying in bed, and it was kind of eerie. Like nothing against anything, but there was like it was just kind of creepy how like they had like speakers, kind of like sirens set up around
Mm-hmm.
the island, and they were like playing their like Ramadan message through it or whatever, like their prayer or whatever it was, and it
Mm-hmm.
would play like every like 15 minutes. Like it felt like there was like a nuclear warfare was about to strike out at any second. It
It
was
was
kind of creepy,
a cool experience
but it
though.
was
But
yeah,
yeah, like I remember, especially that first night, and I feel like it went from being so loud on that place to like so
yeah.
silent
It was
because
like
everyone was like going home.
one of the big party islands too, and then
Yeah, we literally went there to party.
yeah, and then it was Ramadan.
I don't remember what island that was now, but I think that's the one that we found another cat, and we kept letting the cat into our house, but
Yeah,
we
and
wouldn't let it into
Shayna's,
our room, but we would let it into Shayna's room.
and then I thought the cat gave me rabies because I was sharing Doritos with him or something.
I think the cat
He was just
licked
licking my Doritos. I was like, and then I let him lick some, and then I'd eat some more. And then I was thinking about it. I was like, Googling, and I was like, can you get rabies from sharing food with cats? And it was like, yes, do not share food with stray animals in Asia. And that's, yeah,
We thought about bringing that cat home.
I don't have rabies. I don't think
I think you don't. You're good.
that
Oh my god, we have so many stories from there.
poor
If you actually
kitty.
think about it.
Elephants. Remember that elephants almost fucked me up.
Oh, one
Stepped on my
elephant was
foot?
trying to fight Nick.
The baby elephant had beef with me.
I would like to say we did our
And
research.
the elephant guides were trying to marry Cassidy and Shayna.
We did our research and we didn't go to like a like you couldn't ride the elephants or anything. We went to like a real like elephant sanctuary and we like fed them and like you could like give them a mud bath. Essentially we had a water fight with them. But this one had like it was like a little baby elephant, but it would just come and like run into Nick and just push him. Like it
Bro,
was
it
trying to
would bulldoze
fight
me.
Nick.
The guides would yell. They were like, "Smarten up!" They're smacking the well, not smack. They were
They
like,
did not smack it.
they
We
were
went
not-
to a
no,
good
they were
one.
like pushing. They were like trying to stop it. They
Well,
weren't.
they were trying to stop it
Yeah,
from running
They
you
weren't smacking it.
over.
They weren't doing any harm to the animals. But then the fucking thing stepped on my foot. I thought my foot was gonna break in half.
Good thing it was the baby one.
Yeah, I would have been dead. Foot loss.
But yeah, we have really cool pictures of like
I was kind of sick. They picked us up in those like trucks. We rode in the back like a pick. It was like going on a safari, riding in a truck, and then
we, like,
dropped us off.
they like taught us about the elephants. We made them food. The only thing I remember is that like we weren't allowed to wear sunscreen, and I'm a fucking ginger, so I was.
Lathered in mud.
Yeah, they put mud on us so that they were like. That's what happened. Is me and Shanna were talking to the like guides, and they were like, your skin is so beautiful. Like they like really liked it, and I was sitting there like I'm gonna sunburn, and then they were like, oh, put mud on you to like stop. So I was just like had mud all over me, because the sunscreen like irritates the elephants.
We had an elephant bath then to wash the mud off too. So we were like washing the elephants.
We had a
and
water fight with
yeah,
them.
it
That
was
was
fun.
fun. That was a really cool experience. I'm glad we did that.
That was elephant sanctuary was cool. If anyone's got the opportunity to do that, I would do that for sure.
Definitely go to the right one though. Don't ride them.
Yeah, you're not supposed to ride elephants because it's like apparently the training they do to the elephants is kind of cruel to get them like tame enough to ride them. So you're not supposed to ride them, but just going to like feed them and like bathe them and like you get to feed them bananas and shit. And one like kissed Cassidy on the cheek, and they'd give you a hug with their trunk and stuff. It was pretty cool.
It was
And it
definitely
was
really cool.
they like rung the dinner bell and they just came like running through the jungle.
It was cool. That was a really cool experience.
Do you remember when we were riding in the back of the truck and we almost got abducted? We went for dinner. It wasn't
Oh my,
as
there's so many times that we thought we were gonna die. It
It
was just dark
wasn't-
and sketchy for some reason. And I remember having my maps open, and he went like the weirdest way
yeah,
back
because
to our
it,
place.
It was I remember it didn't take that long to get there to the restaurant from the hotel, and then he was driving us back. It was just a random guy, and like you could tell this guy was like it was a good price. We're like, let's get in. But he was like, you could tell he was like a little more sketchy than like some of the other drivers. And we're like, I think we should be back by now. And then we pulled it up on our phone. And we were going like the opposite direction, and we're like,
yeah,
dude, we
it was
gotta
a really
jump out of
long
this
way.
truck and start running. and then he just pulled into like his gas station in the middle of the jungle, and we're like, okay, are we running now?
Everything's the middle of the jungle, just so you know.
It is though,
Yes.
and it's like people could just run out of there and abduct you. You have no idea where you're going.
Yeah, that's why you don't hop on random scooters for $1. Okay. There was another one. Oh, I feel like that happened a lot. I remember one time when we almost jumped out of a cab. Like we actually did. Because I remember the one thing we were told is do not close the door, do not get into a cab until they turn the meter on, because they will do the same thing. They will like not turn the meter on, and then they'll like
charge you extra.
Charge you like a shit ton of money. And this guy did not want to turn his meter on, and we were like, okay, we're not going then, we're not going. So we'd always have like one foot out and the door open, and I remember him just starting to like roll back, and we actually all like hopped out of the car, and then he was like, okay, I'll put the meter on.
Yeah, guy's savage. Bro, and those smoothie bowls there, I could go back just for the fresh fruit in Thailand. The fruit was so gosh darn good.
It was good.
I gotta sneeze.
I want to go back. I want to Trova trip it and go back.
Smoothies. Oh my gosh, the smoothies were so good, but I don't know if I would ever eat a smoothie again in a foreign country after I shit my brains out in that place.
You say this, but you shit your brains out in Thailand. Then we went back to Indonesia the next year and ate smoothies. So, like, I don't know what happened now.
I don't think I ate as many smoothies, though.
We had more smoothies in smoothie bowls. All the smoothie bowls were in Thailand.
True.
In Indonesia, not Thailand.
That's true. But
we also almost died because there was bombs.
Oh, yeah. We're trying to leave. Bro, you're just going to brush over my explosive diarrhea. Bro, I was bedridden for like 3 days. I couldn't move. We were sleeping in a hostel. So there's like 8 single beds in this one room, and somebody saw a spider in there. So Cassidy would not sleep in her own damn bed. There wasn't even enough room for me. Like, I'm a fairly big person, and I could barely fit in the bed myself.
They saw a spider in the other room, and they went to kill it, and then it ran away. And then I was talking to the guy across from us who was part of our tour group. He was one of the Germans, and he's like, couldn't speak a lot of English. He's like, oh, spider? Yeah, last night I wake up, I saw it, I go back to bed, and I went, I'm not sleeping alone. It was huge.
So she thought I was going to somehow protect her by sleeping beside her.
Yeah, the spider's
in a single person bed.
Bite you
and I have
instead.
Explosive diarrhea.
You did not have explosive diarrhea at that point.
Even move. I had explosive diarrhea for 3 days, and you slept with me every single night.
Oh, what does that do? You weren't shitting your pants at night.
I needed quick access to the bathroom, and I had to finagle out of my little sleeping bag thing that you were also inside of.
You literally shit your pants for 1 day only.
No,
you're so dramatic.
Was so bad.
But it was 1 day. He literally spent the entire day on like this hostel bathroom floor, and like you're sharing bathrooms. It was not good.
I couldn't even move. My ass was raw.
We went off and like lived our life without him, and we just left him there because he couldn't move.
That was bad.
I don't know.
Shit someone else in my life.
So when we went to Indonesia, we flew in and out through Jakarta, and then we like flew to Bali, because it was cheaper that way. And we didn't realize there was a political election happening when we were
unrest in the country
going back. And so, because we went straight, so when we got there, we went straight from Jakarta to Bali. Like, we didn't stay a night in Jakarta, but on the way home, we were staying 2 nights, I believe, in Jakarta. And we didn't like book our hotels ahead of time because we didn't need to. Like, we booked them like a few days before. And yeah, we realized there was an election and there was bombings and political unrest.
Yeah, they had
Jakarta.
like metal detectors and stuff set up in front of all the hotels and like extra locks in the hotel
rooms. We spent
rooms.
Extra money to stay in like a really good hotel, and they like I remember they like searched our car, like underneath the car, like they were looking like for bombs and stuff.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
That's probably the most terrifying. I remember we didn't leave. They told us not to leave the hotel grounds, so like there was the shittiest restaurant, and we had to eat it for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it was so bad. Yeah, and like I was so sad because I wanted to explore Jakarta, but like I'm not going out of my hotel room with those things.
Oh, and then the spider I kind of watched part of that vlog. I'll have to watch it on Twitch one day with everyone. We'll do a group react. The spider that attacked me.
It didn't attack you, but
it did attack me. Are you serious?
It almost did.
Brad comes to our room. He's like,
you deserved it.
There's a huge spider in our room. We got to get it out. How are we going to get it out? And I was like, I'll come over there and help you. So we went in there. Big. We found it. I was like, damn, that's a big ass spider. And then I was like, well, I want to take a picture of it to show my family how big the spiders are here. So I'm trying to take a picture of it, and I was like, the camera's not really doing justice. let's put my hand beside it for reference.
I told you he deserved it.
As soon as I put my hand beside it, the spider just takes off and runs across my hand.
It did not run across your hand.
Yes, it did.
Shower, but then I saw this big ass fucking spider.
Watch the video. It ran across my hand in the video.
Not run
it
across
absolutely
your hand.
did. It absolutely did.
It just booked it.
It just booked it across me, and I had no idea where it was. So I'm running out of the villa. Shirts flying off, pants are coming off. By the time I
What happened?
yes, it was.
No,
I was halfway across the hotel parking grounds, and I was naked
not
by the
at
end.
all what
Yes,
happened.
it was.
Why are you lying?
No, I'm not.
We were on 2 balconies.
Yes,
so
and there was a bridge across, and I ran across that bridge. My clothes were off the
you
bridge.
said you're halfway across the.
That's the same thing.
No.
We were just in the air. We were aerial.
Okay, there was probably from like here to the other side of the basement. There was 2 little villas. Me, Nick, and Shane were staying in one, and Brad, me, and
Yes,
Dexter were
and
staying
there
in
was
the other.
a
And there was a
bridge
little
across,
bridge. It was like
Ewoks, like Star Wars.
it would take 30 seconds to cross this bridge, and Nick
And I was
runs
about it.
over fully dressed
And
to me in the other
my
one,
shirt was
and went
off so fast.
and he's like crying, and he's like, "What?" And he's like, "A spider." And I had to check him to see if there was a spider, and then
My clothes.
I had to ask him if it bit him, and he's like, "I don't know."
My clothes were removed halfway
No,
across
you did
that
not
bridge. Yes,
undress.
100% I did.
You did not.
I absolutely did.
No.
I was shirtless.
And then we had to go tell them that there was a spider in their place, and the people all laughed at us because they were like, "That's a small spider," and they just like took a broom and like got it out, and we were all freaking out because I was like, "Did it bite you? What if it was poisonous? Like, we need to tell them like we have to get the spider so like they know it's spider."
That thing almost fucking killed me.
I don't know. I think the other spider in Bali was funnier. When there was that huge spider, and we put it. It was on a tennis racket. And we were like, what are we going to do with this spider? So we pick up the tennis racket, and we're used to like water drown spiders. And we had a pool. And so we just threw the tennis racket into the pool. And then the spider just
Started
ran
running
across the
water.
water. And we were all like, shit. And so then I remember you guys all had different things. And we're all just like trying to hit it on the water.
It was just floating. So it was on the tennis racket, and I was like, I'll just throw it in there because it'll drown. Threw it in the water. Motherfucker is Spider-Man and can run across water, apparently. And then he like landed. There was like another floaty in the pool, so he was like floating on the little floaty. And we have like pool cleaning like scoopers, and they're like on big arms, so we're just like swinging at this motherfucker from across the pool trying to smack it. And someone smacks that fucker, and the spider goes flying up in the air, and no one knew where it went. Watch the video.
Dramatic.
It flew in the air, and everyone was freaking out. We all ran inside because we didn't know where the spider went. Watch the video. I think I have it on my phone still.
It did
to be
not
honest.
fly in the air, but we did not know where it went. It
Yeah,
ran across the water.
Absolutely flew in the air.
Yeah. So we had a few good spider interactions. The frog.
Poisonous frog.
Do you remember
running
Do you
around.
remember the frog with Shayna?
I remember the one that was in our yard, and it was like
You don't remember the frog with Shayna? Oh my god. We were all eating and we were talking, and then this frog came, and Shayna was like, "Oh my god!" And the frog leaped and
Oh, I
almost
forgot
landed
about
in
that. Yeah.
Shayna's
Okay,
mouth.
there was I think I was holding it, wasn't I? And I told her to look at it, and it
So.
and it just jumped and almost went in her mouth.
We have a lot more Thailand stories, but I feel like that's probably good for today. We do need to do like a watch of like watching them all.
On one of my old YouTube channels, I had made really bad vlogs about our trips. We could do, if you guys like the episode, we could do another Thailand stories. I'm sure we could do a full another episode just talking about
I feel like
Thailand
we have
stories.
a lot more.
Cassidy. You should talk about your Trova trip thing,
We'll have to get in touch with them.
so we can all do a. This would be a similar thing. Like we'd all go on a trip, kind of like this, and we pick a place. It could be Asia or something, or Europe, or like anywhere we pick.
I really want to do Vietnam.
Asia is usually like the cheapest bang for your
Expensive
buck.
to fly, cheap to be there.
So I think that'd be cool if we would get a bunch of people and do this again.
Yeah, and go
But
on a whole trip
Cassidy
together.
needs to get like a minimum number of signups or something for it.
I don't know. It changed now, so I'll have to look into it. But if you'd be interested, let me know.
Yeah. All right, team. Thanks for watching. Peace.